Alright, man. So right in this last part, I was talking about the Cherokee King. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue, man. I'm gonna hop back into it. Alright. Oh yeah, the Cherokee King. This is basically what he said in his own tongue. When the dude visited, when Morant was brought before the King of Cherokee, that his fate might be determined, he witnessed to the Cherokee in their native tongue. I cried again, and he was entreated, he said, be it as thou wilt. The Lord appeared most lovely and glorious. The king himself was awakened, and the others set at liberty. A great change took place among the people. The king's house became God's house. The soldiers were ordered away, and the poor condemned prisoner had perfect liberty and was treated like a prince. Now the Lord made all my enemies become my great friends. What the fuck? I ain't never had an enemy that became a friend. You feel what I'm saying? And man, that don't sound right. But let's continue. What Merit saw as God's saving grace have just as easily been a trial by fire or even an elaborate joke upon the naive young missionary. As Michael Rolla puts it in his 1964 dissertation, Negro Slavery Among the Cherokee Indians, it is only natural that the Cherokees should judge the value of Christianity by the character of people who professed it. So the people that profess the Christianity, you know what they bout. We bow down to slaves. But let's continue. To them, Christianity was something they might do well to avoid. Therefore, the Cherokees had no reason to suspect the religion of this Negro preacher. So the Morant was a Negro preacher, not an African. You know how I go. Being thus freed and granted permission to evangelize among the Cherokee, John Morant did so at the liberty for some 9 weeks, dressed much like the king and becoming fluent in the Cherokee tongue at the king's bidding, and with 50 Cherokee accompanying him. Morant thus went forth among a less savingly wrought open. I don't know what the hell that means. Oh, okay. People of the Creek Nation. So he basically, okay, I see. People of the Creek Nation, where he spent some 5 weeks. So they don't tell me they sent the Negro at the Indians. Hey, go open the door. Why you locked it, man? And he spent some 5 weeks. He then traveled for 9 weeks among the indigenous people of Louisiana, so that the multitudes of hard tongues and strange speech he may learn the language of Canaan and sing the song of Moses and the Lamb. Marrant was a Arthur Schomburg, as Arthur Schomburg correctly notes, a Negro in America, like the Jesuits of the old, who spread the seed of Christianity among the American Indians before the birth of the American Republic. I'm gonna come back and read all that over, man. I got something to do right quick, but that's crazy. All right, I'm back, so I'm gonna read over what I just read, man, and show you how crazy it is. Um, being thus, so this black man who was a Negro preacher, being thus freed and granted permission to evangelize among the Cherokee, he was freed and permitted to evangelize among the Cherokee. So he was indoctrinated. He was a slave. He was a slave. All he knew was slavery all his life. But let's continue. John Merritt did so a great liberty for some 9 weeks, dressed much like the king and becoming fluent in Cherokee tongue at the king's bidding, and with 50 Cherokee accompanying him, Merritt thus went forth among a less savingly wrought upon people of the Creek Nation, where he spent some 5 weeks. He then traveled for 9 weeks among the indigenous people of Louisiana, so that the multitudes of hard tongues and of strange speech may learn the language of Canaan and sing the song of Moses and of the Lamb. So he taught these people the language of Canaan. So let's continue. Merritt was, as Arthur Stromberg correctly notes. Hey, I'm doing something over here, man. Man, Merritt was, Arthur Stromberg correctly notes, a Negro in America like the Jesuits of old, who spread the seed of Christianity among the American Indians before the birth of the American Republic. All right, man, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna read this last part, man. It's gonna be the last video for the day. As Merritt was traveling among the Creek Confederation, he may have happened upon another black missionary so he was a missionary whose story resembled his own. David George was born of African parents on the plantation in the Essex County. So they were African, not Negro. Let's continue. Virginia around the year 1742 and attended the English church in Nottoway, Virginia. When his owner became so cruel, the same owner who gave him his religion, David George ran away from his plantation and lived among the Creek at Natchez, Indiana. That's in the southeast, where he became, according to Michael Sobel, a well-treated chattel servant. David George eventually left the Creek Nation and settled on the plantation of George Galpin, an Indian agent for South Carolina, and eventually the Continental Congress near Silver Bluff, South Carolina. Galpin Town, as it was called, was throughout the 18th century a center for trade between the colonists and the 5 nations of southeastern United States. The traffic of both slaves and deer brought large numbers of African and Indians to his plantation. So Indians, not Negroes. I mean Africans, not Negroes. Let's see. Galpin, the owner of the settlement, was a gregarious Irishman who had at least 4 wives, including Metani. So was she Tawny? The daughter of a Creek headman, and at least 2 Africans, the Negro Sappho, the Negro Mina. Okay, the area around the Silver Bluff was a region in the 18th century where the 3 races of colonial America converged. Galpin's family itself revealed the cultural diversity of the area. Members of the Galpin's family were patrons of the Negro Baptist Church. So it ain't African Baptist Church? At Silver Bluff. Jesse Peters Galpin was one of the founders of Silver Bluff Baptist Church and one of the members who helped revive the church following the disastrous effects of the Revolutionary War. All right, I'm going to continue.